Live already. We're live. Is anybody like Mike James gonna bang get in there? He was in there within about 1 second yesterday. Nobody's in there yet. Mike James, good evening. Hi, football fan chat. I hope you guys are doing well. Busy schedule today. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Let's just see if I can get a quick message out to the Twitter auntie so that they're aware that we're online. How you guys doing? Hope you're well. Any guests? Well, we've got one. I need a second one lined up because I want a discussion following on from yesterday about old and new fans and how clubs view them. In as much sometimes as they're basically the potential to pay money. I think, and obviously that's really important. Well, I'm on live and I can't get. Just trying to get a. It's not working. They'll have to do without today, I think. Absolutely plenty of city news. Yep, still in London. I'll be here for probably another week. Hi, Chris. How you doing, mate? And that's Chris Linley, not Chris Welch. There's plenty of news. Most of the massive news has gone. I mean, the massive news is in transfers, really. And we're just left with a few tidbits. So let's try again if I can work out. Hi, Bernard. Hope you're well, Bernard. I'm on Chrome at the moment. I can do a Chrome tab showing something just to test, not showing you full screen. I don't know what I'm testing, football fan chat. Shouldn't be buffering. I can't do much more with the Wi-Fi. Hi, Rob. How you doing, mate? That's the way it is. Hi, Cole. Glad to see you around. Just trying to see. I don't want to test it. I just want to see if I can get something on YouTube. Just trying to see if I can the guy and know that. Unfortunately, some people don't get the notifications. In the way YouTube changed the notifications to. I'm looking at the channel. It says there's something going on live, but it doesn't let me have access to it. I'm just trying to see if I can see. I know there's something live going on, but I can't get access to it. So I can't copy and paste, which is what I normally do. I just copy and paste the link. Let's try another way. Never give up, as they say. Never give up. Let's see if I can just do it quickly this way. And then I'll get back. Let's have a chat with you guys. Hi, English Mastiff. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Thoughts on John Newcary, Nico Omiliana? Prank YouTube? No thoughts, mate. You're a prankster. I don't know anything about those guys. If something bad's happened to them, you run the risk. Yeah, I know people have been killed in some countries for doing pranks that went wrong. Mike James, anyone see Edison score 2 goals in a charity match? Well, I saw it. We talked a bit about it yesterday. Didn't talk about the goals. Do go away because I'm just. You're probably right. It's because I'm just gonna do this. This looks. Yeah, it's buffered. Well, gone on to another. Also, my computer. Let's stick to you guys. I'm not going to move around. It's too much hassle. Hi, Sea-Dog. How you doing, mate? Hi, Carl. Hope you're well. I'll try and get our guest on. I just need to decide who the second guest was. I think I know who it might be. Just get this message out. So we're going to talk tonight. I'm going to try and talk about Pep. I'm going to talk about Leroy Sané, a little bit about Sterling, maybe a little bit about Walker. Let's have a look. Obviously, not Tosin. I'm going to get his name right tonight. Delph, Gomes, Cahill, new name. Gary Cahill, yeah. What do you think about him? It'd be interesting what people think. Danny Mills, what a guy, yeah. Danny Mills, our favourite. Eric Garcia. Anybody wants to come aboard. So let's go back to the main window. So, Sea-Dog, hope you're well. I'm all right, mate. It's not been the best day in the world, but it happens in life. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, I think... I think what happened... I think what... Football Fan Chat has probably got it right. When we... when I go onto a different page, you know, not at this... Because it's run on the... This is on a web page. And this... If I go to a different one to like cut and paste the links for other people on Twitter, it cuts out. So I'll find a way to stop doing that. I can do it on my phone. I might do that. Mike's in the back. Hey, Mike James in the bathtub. No thanks, mate. No way we want to talk about the first thing that pops up, Mike. Chris, there's a bit. Football Fan Chat, you can't bring Rabin on. I can't. I'll start off with Rabin because we're just gonna let me ask this question. Yesterday we had Carl talking about new fans, and was it Sea-Dog talking about old fans? I can't remember who was talking about old fans being pushed to the side, or like we were talking about tickets, and you know the tours now are away from home, so far away. So I just want to know who was doing that chat. Because I want to invite them on to have a chat tonight live. English Master Mike is in his office, in his bathtub. Football Fan Chat can't bring Rabin. Sea-Dog, what's with Cahill? Hey, he's about 33, 34, isn't he? Danny Mills. Cheers, Football Fan Chat. For Everton, for Fabian Delph, and for City, Fabian moving to Everton is a good move. I'm not sure he's going to win trophies with Everton, but hey, Milner gave that as a reason, and it's taken him 4 years. He's managed to win something, so maybe it's a safe with him. Well, to be honest, the other windows, yeah, I try to use Safari for everything. Not Safari, I use Chrome as much as I can now. Football Fan Chat, yeah, guys, check out Football Fan Chat's YouTube site. He's got over 800. He's got more than me subscribers. He's trying to get to 1,000 by the time the season starts. He's got a chance. We'll see. Mark Doran, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Football Fan Chat. Rabin was I know, but I'll just talk about Rabin rather than Andy. Hi, Chris. Hope you're doing well, mate. Rabin, it's been a lot going on the last few days with the journalists because all they're trying to do is discredit him because of who he is. They've said weeks ago when he came the first time around before Andy ballsed it up for him, he said that they were just not. They decided that was between them all on their own that it was the best tactic. It was just to not engage with him honestly, and then it got more and more about who are you, because that's what some of the journalists do. They look for, and I noticed this with a few of them. They look for easy targets. They look for easy wins. You abuse them. That's an easy win for them. You swear at them, you call them names, that's a very easy win for them. And they can block you and respond to you and block you and say, look, this is what you fans are like. So they have an easy win, block you. So I don't go down that route. And then they just try and diverge or move on to other subjects. They distract, obfuscate. They try and steer the conversation away from the questions you're asking. So they won't answer. They blur it. They attacked the credibility of the messenger. Okay. Now with Rabin, they couldn't. They didn't know who it was. Yeah. If they know who it was, they wanted to attack his credibility because they couldn't attack his arguments because his arguments showed them up as hypocrites, disingenuous, liars, scumbags. Some of them. Yeah. Absolute scumbags. So they couldn't attack Rabin's arguments. They didn't want to answer his questions, so they attacked him. They couldn't attack his credibility because they didn't know who he was, so they attack his anonymity. Yeah, but it's a funny way. Some of these same journalists praise the footy leaks, even though they don't know who those guys are. Why don't they, if they're being consistent and honest and genuine, criticize the footy leaks people and say, tell us who you are or we won't believe what you're saying? Right here with these journalists, they set the agenda for themselves. They think because they got these blue ticks that what they say is fact, their opinions become fact. It's a load of rubbish. So let's have a quick drink. Can't help the buffering, guys. I can see buffering in front of me. Can't help it. I can see it right in front of me. But at least I'll continue. I won't drop off and come back and drop off and come back. I'll just keep going. So, yeah, so these guys are now desperately trying to, criticize Rabin because he's anonymous. And that slaphead Duncan Castle's trying to have a go with me today. In the end, I gave up on him because what they do, they lie. They're happy to lie and put their opinion out as fact. And if you put a fact out, they want to call it your opinion. You know, what I said about Rabin is, look, I saw the video. I think is a wrong. My feeling is he's an ordinary guy. He says he's not been put up by City. He's not doing anything for Abu Dhabi. So why they basically, because he can't answer his questions, they don't want to. They are calling him a liar. Okay, these guys are liars. So we've seen with some of them. Ewan McKenna, he talked about. So apparently, someone quizzed him about his father giving him money to help him set up or whatever. He talked about his parents being divorced since he was 9. Someone added it up and said, well, in Ireland, where you're from, divorce wasn't legal when you say your parents got divorced. So what gives? Divorce wasn't legal for until 2 or 3 years later. What did Ewan do? Block the guy. Blocked him immediately. Didn't want to answer. He'd been found out. He could have just turned around, oh, I got my numbers wrong or whatever. No, he doesn't do that, which makes you worry about his credibility. Okay, it's not somebody I know. It's just a comment I read. So this is a load of rubbish, what these guys do. Duncan Castles, he tried it on with me before when I criticised him for taking the money, the pay of dubious regimes, let's say. And he tried to have a go at me. And I said, I walked out of a job. I walked out of a job because I didn't want to be a yes man. I had, sometimes you have some guts, not always, but I walked out of this cushy job. It was an absolute cushy job. It was so cushy that when my mates came to see me in my office, okay, they saw me. I had a 6-foot golf mat in my office and I was practicing putting. That's how cushy my job was. So, and I walked out because I didn't want to be a yes man, and I didn't want my credibility, my independence attacked by somebody at very, very high up. So I thought the easiest thing to do, I'm not going to win this. I'll walk away. So I actually blocked Duncan because he's just an absolute waste of space. He said, this is my opinion and it's also a fact. Very dodgy ground there, Duncan. You do us slapheads. Bad name. Yeah, English Masters. Mbappe rumours have resurfaced because it sounds like Neymar's not going to be leaving. Let's not worry about it. Fantastic, Bernard. You're doing really well, mate. I wish I could lose that much. I just can't do it. All that walking and stuff is doing you well. Yeah, I don't block them, but I blocked him today. I don't normally block them, Bernard, but I had to. I had no choice. It's 30 degrees, mate. 31 degrees in London. It's supposed to be 36 this week. It's just too hot. 38 on Thursday. I thought when I read that the first time, I thought you were going to be 38 on Thursday. And I thought it's not showing, mate, Bernard. 38 degrees. It sounds right. Puts it away. Had Nick Harris and he just blocked you? A couple of them have blocked me. One of them was it Nick Harris who he got caught lying. He got caught blatantly lying. He pushed something too far. He got caught lying and then he ran away with his tail between his legs. Yeah, I think it was Nick Harris. But look, Rob Harris, Barney Roney, loads of them. I'd with the guy who's I think he writes for the Guardian. He's on TalkSport with I can't remember now. A fat Irish guy, I think he is, or it might not be a fat guy. I can't remember his name. I had one with him. He was a waste of time as well. It's another one who thought he could get me because I criticised him for his employers because he worked for TalkSport. And obviously, they're in the same organisation as The Sun, News International. And I asked him about whether he was happy to be working for an organisation that hacked the phone of a dead girl. And he tried to turn it around. It was and say, well, do you watch Sky? Did you have Sky Sports? I said, no. He said, do you watch it? I said, no, I don't. He was hoping to use the fact that I watched Sky or I had a Sky subscription against me because that's the same organisation. And when I said no, yeah, because I got rid of Sky, I think 3 or 4 years ago. When I said no, he didn't have anything to come back with. So he's another one. He's probably, I suspect, tanked up a little bit that night. You know, he had an hour or two of blarney, blabbing away, and then he gave up. Once he knew he was losing the argument, he ran away. Guests for tonight? Well, they haven't turned up, so I'm waiting. Hi, Robert. Hope you're doing well, mate. Block them. I block most of them. English Mastiff. I leave them on just to see what they're saying because obviously, you know, I'm a wannabe blue tick journalist. Have I spoken to any since the fallout? Not physically. It's too good for us. He doesn't want to talk. But maybe one day he'll have to. Yeah, maybe he'll have to. I'm not going to say too much, but let's be honest. I wouldn't be wanting to be paid by a company, a country with serious human rights abuses. Go and look at Amnesty International about it. I'm saying no more. Hi, Migrant. We've not talked about anything, Migrant. We just talked briefly. Don't worry about the dislikes. Kieran, mate, Kieran, can you sub us? Kieran? Can you give us a sub, man? Come on, Kieran. Hurry up, man. Yeah, he's in Myanmar. Human rights abusing country. Anyway, yeah, Mike's mentioned Reino about 70-year-old, but a wonder kid. His release clause is 62 million quid, which is why he's not on my list. You know, because it's absolutely ridiculous. If he's at a reasonable price, then we'll talk about him. Well, Carl Omatsola was supposed to be one of our guests, but he's not online yet. So I'm waiting for Carl, and I'm waiting for the second person. The discussion I wanted tonight was between Carl, who's let's say a more recent fan or a more distant fan, and someone who's a more local fan. Okay, and I thought that was Sea Dog. I thought that they were both having a chat yesterday, Sea Dog and Carl. So if there's anybody, or it might have been somebody else, if there's the other person who was fighting the corner for local fans, long-term fans, please make yourselves known, and I will try and do that. No, Football Fan Chat, I am not subscribed. I'm not subscribed to that channel. There's absolutely no need. What I see bits and pieces that other people tell me. I've been seeing it, but generally I'm not bothered. I don't even know what some of their new stuff is. Who are you? Well, look, what is a Who Are You pod? What is a Who Are You? I suspect the Who Are You is to, yes, it's interesting to see who other people are, but it's also to get them more sucked into the channel. Yeah. It's to get, so if you're doing Who Are Yous with lots of different people, they're going to be sucked into that channel, and they feel part of it. They feel more part of it. And it's the same way you guys interacting with me. You feel more a part of this channel. So the Who Are You? They do two things. Yes, it shows everybody else what these fans are, but it also drags you in and keeps you tight to this channel, and you're more loyal to this channel than somebody else. Yeah. So there were people who would watch both channels. And so this helps to make them more loyal to them. But it was actually quite funny. Quite funny, some of the goons. I'll say Spencer Matt, thanks, Sea-Dog. I'll say about the goons. It was quite funny where I actually see people subscribing to this channel. People I used to interact with when I did live streams. People who still interact on live streams. They subscribe to this channel because they're not private, so I can actually see who they are. And then they never interact here. They never. So I think to myself, why is it when you interacted with me so much there, have you not interacted with me here? Why are you subbing to this channel and not saying anything when you were a very vocal person on live streams? And the only logical explanation I can come up with is that these are some of the goons. So they subscribe so that they can be notified, so they can come and hit with the down tick. And they're such idiots that I actually know who they are. I don't know who some of them are because their names come up. They've not even done it privately. They've done it with their names public. So I know some of them who they are. I'm not going to say who they are because but I don't think they will. You'd like to think they'd stop. So the guests, if Carl comes online and Spencer and Mike comes online, we'll get them too. Mike's still talking. I don't know if you're still talking about the same Reino. I said you're earning 62 million quid. Don't think that's going to happen if it says that. Migrant Child read that Thiago Almada's release clause is more than 16. If we really want him, look, the Brazilian clubs are really pushing. Yeah, and 5 or 6 years ago, generally their players were going for peanuts, a few million quid. Now they're pushing big numbers. You know, Jesus came to us for 27. Everton from Gremio is going around 30. This Reina, 17-year-old, his release clause is 62 million quid. Thiago Almada, 16. Who knows? Look, the one point is we've scouted them extensively. We've looked into their background. We can still make mistakes. Look, when we got Gabi Jesus, we also got Marlos Moreno. I think he was Colombian. And I remember and had more potential than Gabi Jesus. Marlos Moreno went to Girona. He couldn't do it. And he's gone, I don't know whether he's in Mexico or Ecuador now. So, yeah, let's have a look at Football Fan Chat. What do you think of who I've done that? Podcast. Well, a lot of people have got unhappy because the podcasts are extremely, they call it raw. I think vulgar is the word. Who's Carl? Carl, if you're talking, Carl's been on Man City Fan TV. I met him in Manchester. Actually, I don't want to. I'm going to tell you a story. If you don't want to hear it, switch off now for 30 seconds. No, I met Carl in Manchester for a few hours at his hotel, and we went to the Arndale, I think, for a coffee. We had a long chat. Spent hours together before one of the game in the evening. I can't remember who the game was against. Was it Schalke? I can't remember. And I had a chat with him on Cheesy's podcast, and Andy really had a go at me for that because he said my mate, I didn't get my mate on camera, and Cheesy's done, and I was letting aside or whatever. Okay, look, you're having a chat as a mate. You don't shove a camera in someone's face just to have a chat with them. You know, you give them a little bit of respect, and that's what we did anyway. Move on. Mike, no, I haven't subbed to JSGC. Look, JSGC. I'll say this for JSGC. A year ago, he didn't have too many subs. Yeah. Neither did we. But what he's done, he's up to about 3,000 or 4,000 subs now. So his subs are going really well. And he keeps doing those videos, and he's got some good numbers on his videos. Whereas I felt with Man City Fan TV, the numbers were actually going down because Andy was focused on these live streams, because he was focused on his ego and the popularity and the instant reaction. The first time he did a live stream at a ground, you could see the buzz. You could see it in his normal videos. Whenever I did a normal video, it did really well, but we were doing them more infrequently because live streams are so much easier to do. So much easier. You come on, you do an hour, you might have done 5 or 10 minutes research beforehand, bang, it's gone. You do a video, you're going to put your logos on, you're going to put some pictures in, you're going to do some editing. Yeah, it takes time. If I do a normal video, a 50-minute video, it could take me 3 hours because I might need to render it twice. I need to upload it. With the live stream, it's done. It's done and dusted. There's very little to do after that. So, so JSGC has gone down that route. I pulled him up a couple of times because, what I've noticed is, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've listened to some podcasts and they've got a lot of inaccuracies. I've watched the odd video here and there. Whenever people talk about finance, it has to be a subject I'm interested in. If someone's doing a video on Dybala, when I know we're not going to get them, I'm not interested at all. When you're talking about finances, my attention perks and I listen to it. If you're talking about something interesting, I'll listen. If you're talking about away fans or ticketing, I'll listen. And I've listened to some of these things, and I just think I shake my head. And some, I'm not going to say who they are, but some big podcasts, and I've picked them up on a few factual. And I'm thinking in 1 hour, in the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I picked up 3 factual inaccuracies. And then I was looking on the Blue Moon Forum today, and they've said, they were talking about one of these podcasts and said they were just plain wrong. They were talking about one, and as I said, I won't say who it is, but they said they don't even know how many points you get for an away ticket. They don't know even how much a platinum costs at City. They weren't sure whether it was 50 or 60 quid. Now, I'm sorry, if you're going to talk about an important topic, you've got to know your subject. Yeah, and some of these people are paying for platinum, and some of the people are going to at least do the research. And I see that in podcasts. I see that in YouTube videos. I said something to JSGC about it. He was talking to somebody about financial fair play, and I tried to gently say, correct him or push him in the right direction. And he came back, well, we know what we're talking about. I've been studying financial fair play since it came out. Yeah. And I think when I said I'm an accountant, I'm a qualified accountant, chartered tax advisor, that's when he stopped responding to me. Hey, look, he's appealing to a different audience and fair game. Robert Lang, have you heard about selling playing as Liverpool and PSG on FIFA? Nah, honestly, Robert, there's enough small stories to get on. I do that. Sea-Dog, I heard City and Sporting split the transfer 50. Which one? Sea-Dog, I must have missed something there. Bernard, who are you? He's okay, but I got a bit bored. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it was the same questions. That's what I heard. It was the same questions. Someone mentioned it to me. Which is interesting up to a point, because then you get, but then we'll see. We set the pace. Oh, I'm with you, Ray. I know the dance, pal. I don't know what the dance is. I don't know what dance I'm doing. Let's have a look. Thanks, we set the pace. Well, look, each to his own. Some people don't like me. Some people like JSGC. Everybody's a different person. Julio Castaneda. Konnichiwa, Julio. How you doing, mate? Bernard's in the garden. I hope you got some shorts on, Bernard. Hope you're not like Mike James. Yeah, a football fan chat. Carl's a guy from America. He did say he'd come on at 9 o'clock. Maybe he's looking at GMT and not BST, and he's going to turn up at 10:30 or 10 o'clock when I'm off. Factor 30. My kids and me, my bald head, I got factor 50. Don't go for anything less. My opinion, anyway. Do not go for anything less than factor 50. It's just not worth it. Football fan chat. No, in Cheeseman will not let me go on his podcast. I'm pretty sure of that. One of his guys on his podcast, he was on Man City Fan TV and he blocked me. He actually blocked me on Twitter. He's that insecure. That's Harlan. And he came on. He did a couple of things for us. I remember the first time we were interviewing people and he was a bit nervous, and we were all nervous. The second time he wouldn't do it, and then he was supposed to go to Southampton with me, and a few days beforehand he pulled out for a christening. And it's like, mate, you must have known that christening was coming ages ago. It felt like an excuse. And I remember Andy said, Andy, give him one of our hoodies, I think. And I'm not even sure. Well, I know Turn the hoodie. So yeah, you're in California, Sea Dog. Well, what do I say to you in California? Hola. All I can say is hola. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, be careful with your moles, guys, and do not get sunburn. Do not get problems with the sun. You know, that's why I say factor 50. It's not worth it if you get to your 30s or 40s and have problems with skin cancer. It's just not worth it, mate. Robert Banner, absolutely disgrace. They're clearly tapping and trying to intercept that play illegally. What a disgrace of a club calling Pep and City absolute disgrace. Or would it even send the Mangala? Well, Robert, look, you've got the president is a convicted criminal who spent time in the slammer. Need I say any more? Uli Hoeneß, convicted fraudster. So he was sentenced to 3.5 years. I think he did half the time for good behaviour. Sea Dog, we speak football most of the time, mate. Yeah, I think the problem. One of the problems is when there's we've got night to talk about. There's night to talk about, and then people talk about the same thing, which is what you've read in the paper. I want you to bring another angle to it. Yeah, you've got to bring another angle. Now, a lot of people, when Riesco, everybody talks about Riesco coming to City. All the other channels did it. I reluctantly said something once, I think, about Riesco. Everybody was talking about it. But they didn't talk about the fact that we already had 17 non-homegrown players. And for Riesco to come to City, we'd either have to lose a non-homegrown player or keep one and not include him in the squad. Now, I don't remember anybody talking about that. I mean, as I said, I don't focus on them. But to keep coming back and back and back to this guy, surely you've got to give it a break. Because if you're talking about, you've got to talk about the non-homegrown issue. In passing, and the reason I don't go into too much depth is because of things like the non-homegrown issue, or a major reason why they won't come to City. Yeah, the Bonucci thing. I mentioned it, but I didn't do a video on Bonucci because I don't think it merits a video. Yeah, Bernard. Okay, let's get on to these clowns. Danny Mills. Well, I was going to say Danny Mills was going to be a very, very quick thing. Danny Mills was on TalkSport talking about Gareth Bale and Gareth Bale's situation at Real Madrid. And Danny Mills was talking about when he was at City and I think he had 4 years left on his contract. He said he'd had a couple of leg breaks and he was at that stage of his career. He just wanted to play football. He was playing at Charlton, and Charlton in the Championship. Charlton offered him 20% of the wages City were paying, and he said no. He said, "Why would I do that?" On one hand, you obviously can agree with him, but he said, "Why would I do that?" He said, "Myself, I had to do it for myself because I'd missed all those Christmases and all this." He didn't get a lot of sympathy out on Switzerland because people said, "Look, other people are working." Other people have to work Christmas. Other people have to make sacrifices. They don't earn anything like what you do, mate, so shut up. That was the general consensus about Danny Mills. I can understand where Bale's coming from because Bale's situation is different. I mean, at least with Danny Mills, Sven went to him and said, "Look, I've got this new guy. You're not going to be first choice. I'm quite happy for you to stay, quite happy for you to leave. It's up to you what you want to do." Gareth Bale's been pushed out of the club. That's a totally different kettle of fish. So I think that's a slightly different situation. And I'm all for Gareth Bale staying and getting a payoff rather than leave. Robert Lang, we took a chance on signing before he was world class. We still signed him where they then weren't even interested. Now they want him because he's world class. Yeah, absolutely, Robert. They can get lost. Yeah, Mike, no good if false information has been put out. Leroy Sané. Who would I take from Bayern? I'm not bothered. English Mastiff. Bayern are an average team right now. There might be Kimmich, Gnabry, Sea Dog says, but Kingsley Coman. But look, you've got all these decent names, and they struggled last season. Really struggled. But look how we've talked about all these: Kimmich, Gnabry, Coman, Alaba. They sound like good players, but if you got so many good players, why did Bayern struggle? Why were they totally ineffective against Liverpool, and why did they only win the league because Borussia Dortmund bottled it? Do City think no way? Gareth's 30 years old. He wants about at least £500,000 a week. The Chinese deal is rumored to be £1 million a week. No, City don't want him for his wages. We don't want him for his injuries. And, is he going to get in if Leroy Sané stays? Would Gareth Bale get in above Leroy Sané? Crack, Bernard, did you do the quizzes on the movie quiz? Absolutely, Robert. Ribery and Robin are going. They're empty now and they need somebody. Konnichiwa is Japanese. Aye, Mike, it is. Because he's in Japan. That's the reason. He's living in Japan. Kamal, I can't take this humidity. It's giving me a head. Yeah, I to be honest, I slept for 3 hours today. I mean, I travelled yesterday. I had no real sleep from Friday to Monday. So I was up at 6 because my wife had to go out to work at 8. And I had to take my kids they're doing some courses at the moment, some coding and stuff and IT stuff and whatever. So I had to take them there. And I came home and I got ready to go out running, got my shorts on. I had a banana and I just fell asleep. And I was up and down for about 3 hours, really bad. And then actually something interesting came through today because I was asked if I would go on television potentially about racism in football. So I'll just see if that comes off. They're just waiting for the TV company, major TV company, one of the big channels, to sign off on this project. And yeah, you might see me on your screens later in the year. No tight, no, Bernard, no tight denim shorts. Sports, rugby shorts, in fact. So let's have a look. YMCA. I don't know what you're talking about, Bernard. I'm sure you've been cheeky. Yep, no to Gareth Bale. Didn't know that Sea-Dog, Rodrigo Hernandez and the Hernandez brothers went to the Maya Honda Academy at the same time. No, Julio says no to Gareth Bale. English Mastiff is annoyed. Daniel, what do you think of Man City Fan TV podcast? Don't listen, Daniel. I listened to a few minutes the first time just to see, but it's just an excuse to swear. And a lot of us, Bernard's got chip band fats on. Chris Welch, you got your feet sunburned. That must have hurt. I mean, I've had my head and arms sunburnt in the past. I mean, I used to have an open top car. Before I had it whilst I was married, but I drove it a lot before I got married, and it didn't have a roof. Simply didn't have a roof. Didn't have a cover. There was no roof. So I remember driving once for like 6 hours one summer out in the open across the Pennines, and yeah, when I got home, my head was burnt, my arms really hurt. But I mean, I've only had it a couple of times, and usually it's on my neck. Now I'm bald, I get it on my head, but usually it's on my neck. Yeah, English Massive Danny Mills was pants. Look, absolutely right, Bernard. It wasn't Mills' fault that we offered him that much money and we paid him so much, and that's one of the problems we had at the time. People didn't want to leave. I mean, he's going to get a lot of stick and no one's going to pay his wages, Chris. Only United could get close. Yeah, I absolutely hope Gareth Bale stays at Real Madrid, because not only does it mess up their transfers, because he won't get the money, they paid him 25 million quid a year. That's going to be hard work for a guy who's not playing. GZ Graf Studio sitting in next. Well, right now, I think we can go by with what we got. I think we can go with what we got, but soon we will look for another centre back, I think, because of Otamendi, within a year or two will be gone. And we'll look for another striker because Sergio Aguero will be gone. But it doesn't have to be this summer. C-Dog, I don't like Esteem Company's content. I think he does say things just because it's a normal football fan view. He's sponsored. I think they have this. I don't know. I'm not going to say too much asking for money for producing content. A lot of people do. Why should I criticize? Because I don't think that's wrong. But I just think, be honest, don't do videos just because it's going to make you a few quid. And that's why one of the reasons I criticized him. I think I criticized him on, was it the Dybala thing he did? And he admitted it was unlikely to happen, but he knows he's going to get 6, 8, 10,000 views because he's got that fan base, and that's going to make him some money. you put out crap to make money? You know, and yeah, he's had a pop at me for quality of my production. I've always said I'd rather my production quality, and I've said it to you guys, I'd rather my content was decent and people like the content and then focus on my production qualities. That will change. Production qualities will get better over time. But, you know, people are watching for the content. And one other thing, you guys get me going. Said one of the issues was I offered him free tickets a couple of times and he said no. And he went off to do live streams of a team news or something before a game rather than watch the game. So that's a little bit. People said that's a little bit odd, where you're so focused on making 10 or 20 quid that you're not going to watch the team that you say you love. Rain is VW convertible. Actually, Bernard, it was a kit car. It was a Porsche Spider RSK 918, I think, on something like that. I can't remember now. And so it started off as a Volkswagen Beetle, but it had basically the company that made those cars, they made go-karts. And this basically was like a go-kart on that looked like a Porsche Spider. And it had, when I finished with it, I think it came with about 1595cc engine. When I finished it with it, it had either a 2 litre or a 2.2 litre. It was at 30 miles an hour. It was, you felt like you're going 50 because it was basically you were touching the floor. And at 70, it was scary. You know, anybody that I give a lift to, I remember taking a mate down the Oxford bypass at 70 and he crapped his pants because it felt like going on a motorbike or on, you know, if you went, and trust me, that car would go a lot more than 70. That car would do a ton, no problem. And can you imagine it was noisy, it was windy. If you got caught out in the rain, rain hurts when you're doing 70 miles an hour. Believe me, it hurts a lot when you're doing 70 miles an hour in your car out in the open. Robert, last thing on Sané from me, the Bayern players and German national team called for his attitude and didn't get picked for the World Cup. And look, I can't remember which one it was now who complained and said, "Oh, Pep's not picking him. I don't understand why he's not picking Sané and not understanding why." There you go. I can't read that out, Bernard, because I will make a joke about it. English Massive, look, I mean, I said before, I just want City to get this window closed. Excuse me, Sané to stay, and then we can all put I did it in that podcast. I said I want us to put the proverbial 2 fingers up at Bayern. Yeah, Robert, it's absolutely ridiculous. Boris Johnson as PM, no politics, but excuse me, as someone said, when Melania Trump, was it Ivanka Trump, said about congratulating Boris, and they said, stick to your own misogynistic, racist, sexist, blah, 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 blah. You've got one of your own, stick to him. But that's the end of politics. Yeah, Bernard, love the old minis. Yeah, it was like driving a go-kart. I crashed one of them once, but let's not talk about that. Sea Dog Sané, to me personally, he's not seemed unhappy. People said look, Sané just comes across as unhappy. That just happens, you know. When I'm really tired, I come across as bored and looking sad. So if I'm really tired, that's just my normal face. So people have that normal face. Chris, it's just going to be the same old things happening, Kamal, only different in a manner. No, yeah, it's a load of rubbish, this. Extend that contract, Leroy. That's what we want, Robert. Carl had a white Mini. Oh, my wife wants a Mini Cooper. We were looking at cars a couple of weeks ago and went to this place over in Winsford. I think it was Winsford or Knutsford or somewhere. And she saw these Mini Coopers and she said, I want one of them. I got out there quick. Can you imagine, English Massive? You had a Mini Cooper, 1300 engine with twin Porsche Spider kit, had a 2 litre engine. I think it had twin cabs as well. It sounded fantastic. and everybody would take pictures. They loved it. I loved that. But I tell you what, it was so, it's hard work to get in and out. I couldn't do it now. I couldn't do it now. I mean, if I go back to 7 or 8 years ago when I drove it regularly, I probably weighed a stone less, but there's a lot more muscle. I was doing athletics twice a week, badminton as well, tennis, running. I was fit as a fiddle. Going down the gym, bit of sparring with my brother, lifting weight. I was really busy, exercise-wise. Couldn't do it now. So Cole had a mini city white with blue stripes. Oh, sounds great. Will I be buying the third city shirt? I need to see it. That's one I haven't seen in real life, Kamal. When I see the other taken to the goalkeeper top, so I think it'll be a goalkeeper top first, or a training kit. That's it. I think people forget that we always try to make an opinion, even if we don't know the person. Don't know what that refers to. Oh wow, Bernard, 2-litre Ford Capri Sports. Beautiful. Robert, I don't think you can invest it. Either if there's anything UEFA could do, they should have done it by now. If they were going to do anything. Yeah, look, Migrant Sané can do what he likes. What he thinks is best for him. Look, apparently the offer is now 200 grand a week for Sané. He was on 60 grand a week. Now he's on 200. The offer is 200 grand a week, which I think is plenty. English Master, twin carbs on a metallic brown gold roof, blacked out windows, rust out wheels. Kamal, no. My kids support City. My wife, my sister, my sister and my youngest brother, my middle brother, sorry, they were United fans. I don't think they're not bothered anymore. My youngest brother, he's a Liverpool fan, though he's never been to Anfield, even though he lives less than an hour away. Never. He's been to Wembley with me. I took him to Wembley, him and his family, to watch. I think it was England versus Brazil a few years ago when I had. I was a member of Club Wembley. I had a couple of tickets at Club Wembley, so I used to take my mates, to games. Charity Shield. This was before City were good. I took one of my mates to FA Cup final, Chelsea versus United, Community Shield games, international games if I could. Do I think Manila will leave? I think you mean Mangala. Mangala, he's got to go. I mean, there's nothing here for him at City. Either we'll let him go on a free. He's not. We've already got 70 non-homegrown spots taken, and he's not homegrown. I don't know what you mean. All right, Sané. Yeah, you have people make an opinion. So people's opinion on Sané is that he's unhappy. Well, he never said that. He just looks a bit sullen sometimes. But that's just the way he is, people can be withdrawn, look one way, but behave another. It just happens. English Mastiff, wow, Suzuki 250. I've been on a motorbike on 2 occasions. Once with a mate of mine when we were at uni, and I was going to do a fun run on a Saturday, and we went round this motorbike in Liverpool dressed as Sylvester and Sweetie Pie. That was a fabulous time. That's the time when you could get away with it in the late 80s. You could get away with doing stuff like that. I think if we tried it now, we'd get pulled over. We didn't have helmets. He would, because it was the first time I'd ever been on a bike, and he was doing 30 miles an hour, just leaning a little extra. And the next time I went on a bike, it was a mate's stag do, and we were going to do go-karting at Sandown Park. And one of the guys, we were at my place, and some of the guys were driving down. I was going to drive down. Someone said, "Oh, do you want to go? Does anybody want to go on the motorbike with me?" And everybody quickly said no. And I thought, well, why not? Go and I'll do it. It'll save us taking an extra car. And I soon realized why nobody would go with this guy, because he just put his foot down. And it was a 40 zone at some lights. He just put his foot down. He was doing 70 in about 3 seconds, and I crapped my pants. Really did. It was really, and then I had to come back with him as well because there was no space in the other car because I turned it down. And I vowed never again, and I've never been on. And that was in the mid-90s. I think it just depends on the Wi-Fi. I'm in a service department at the moment, and we're relying on the Wi-Fi here. When I'm back up in Manchester, I've got my own place, and I'm on BT fiber, which is a better quality, and usually it's good. But I need to get that. I need to get that checked as well, because when you're beholden to the quality of the Wi-Fi, there's nothing else you can do. Here, I've tried many places. I've tried running it off my 4G. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it doesn't. There you go, Sea-Dog. In training, Leroy's always smiling. Robert Lang also there having a laugh, 89 to 100 mil. No, look, Leroy's worth, I think, 120 mil or more. So fingers crossed, Migrant. We'll get the quality up a bit. You know, it's just sad that some days it's really good, and sometimes it's on. I think it depends on the atmospheric weather or whatever the reasons are. But hopefully, when I'm back in Manchester, it will be better. Either because I'll plug it in. I think that's one thing. One thing this service says, you know, running off Wi-Fi is not as good as a hardwire connection. That's one option I've got. And the other option is, you know, if my BT fiber is super fast, and if it's working well, we'll get a better quality. I might only have 5 minutes left, guys, so I'll nip through this. Yeah, that's it. That's right, Cole. You know, you're relying on someone else's Wi-Fi, which isn't as fast. And you got to remember these are service departments. So, you know, if you've got other people in the apartments, they're running off the same Wi-Fi. Or at least in Manchester, I only have my kids or my wife and myself running off the Wi-Fi. That's it. So, you know, if you got 10 people running off the Wi-Fi at once or 20, it's going to affect the speed. Chris Welch, who do you guys want to replace Guardiola once he goes? He's conceded a lot, but I think Arteta's up there. If Pep goes in 3 years' time, you got Arteta, he's probably going to be a front runner. You got Vincent Kompany, he's got a 3-year contract at Anderlecht. He might be a front runner. You got Patrick Vieira even at Nice, and he's obviously been at City. He went to New York City as manager, so he's another option. Well, I'm using the thing is I'm using the computer's own camera, which is all right. When I use my phone, the phone camera is a better quality. I mean, there is an option for me to do this off my phone. Maybe I'll try that one day and see if the quality is better, because the quality, I'm sure the quality of my phone on the camera is better than the webcam on my laptop. So that's something I might look at, Grant. Thanks for bringing that up. English Massive. So no, it was a Nissan Violet, which I crashed in the early hours one morning. Let's look at my other topics. Let's get this Leroy update. I mean, there's a really stupid Leroy update. I mean, I'm going to tell you this. It was in the Mirror, and the Mirror said Bayern Munich make breakthrough in Leroy signing transfer bid from Man City. You think, oh no, what's good? And actually, it was something in Sky Germany that Sky Germany reported that Bayern Munich had made initial contact with signings representatives, even though they've denied it. So that was the Mirror's big news, pile of rubbish. Tosin Adarabioyo, he says it looks like he's on his way to Blackburn, which I said a few days ago, and we're just waiting for that to come through. I'm hoping to get an interview with him. Eric Garcia, talking about him going to play for the under-19 Euros, and this is what he said. He said the Federation and City spoke so that I could come to the European Championship. The Federation and City talked to see if I could go the best. Playing a European Championship with the national team is a very good experience. From the first day, I always looked at all the details. I do it with all the teammates, but I am a player who likes to ask the coaches how I can improve. Guardiola seeks perfection. He does not settle for a match of 8 if you can make 1 of 10. This preseason, I started with them, and in theory, the intention is that this year I train with them. That's the first team squad. And the games, if I can go summoned or play well, and if not, play with the subsidiary, which is the EDS, so as not to lose rhythm. So Eric Garcia is looking forward to the season. That's fabulous news. Any other news? I mentioned Cahill because he's a free agent. He's about, 33, 34 years old. I think Cahill wants to play more football than he'd get at City. But would you guys consider Gary Cahill as an option for a 4th choice centre-back? if we're desperate to get somebody who's going to be fourth choice and play 15 or 20 games maximum, would you think Gary Cahill has still got Fabian Delph? What I'm going to say about Fabian Delph, he's admitted his frustration at the way the City season finished, and he had some comments. Obviously, he's gone to Everton now. Let me just pick up his thing. He said, let's quickly go what he said. He said, it was really frustrating from a very young age. All you want to do is play football. This is talking about his last 6 months. Because in his last 6 months, he was sent off at the defeat against Leicester on Boxing Day. He did not start a Premier League game again for City. And his last game was in the first leg of the Champions League against Spurs, where he made a mistake, and that was his last ever start for City. So it was obviously very frustrating for him. And I think he said, and his best time was that when he played in the Centurion season. He said it felt like it was his days were numbered at City. It was his last chance. He got this chance. He took it, and that season was the best, was the highlight. Claudio Gomes, got to say, big up to Claudio Gomes. It's his birthday today, 23rd of July. He's 19 today. Met him last year. Lovely, lovely guy. I've always said this, lovely guy. Spent time chatting with my son and me. My son was really shy. He didn't want to talk, and Claudio was trying to get him to talk. Obviously, my son's French, and he speaks perfect French, as well as decent English. And my son wouldn't do it. But, I said to my lad, he should have talked to Claudio. Claudio was only 7 years older than him at the time. 7 years. And my lad was too shy. But anyway, big up to Claudio. It's his birthday. Anything else to talk about? Pep's basically has blasted the suggestion. He said it's a false suggestion that they disrespected China on their pre-season tour. You've seen a lot of stuff in the last couple of days now of City making extra efforts to talk to fans and stuff like that. Now, the article had come from the government-owned Xinhuanet media outlet, biggest, I think, outlet in for Erdogan's approach, which was more interested in extracting cash than winning hearts and minds. Well, let's be quite honest, China. The only reason City are there is for money. It's not to win hearts and minds, it's to win hearts and minds to make money. There's no other reason about it. But actually, Pep said, I should say I don't agree, and also that it's false. To make a statement like this, you have to know exactly what happened here in our club. We had an incredible time in Shanghai. We were committed to the cooperation you have to do here in China. The people from the hotel, all the people asking us to do things, we are ready to do that. Yeah. I'm just going to turn this thing off. It's on MEN. We came here. It's a unique experience because it's not easy to come to Asia during the season. To come to Asia and experience the culture, the restaurants, it's amazing to get to know the people. That's why I can't understand what people are saying. Maybe one journalist is a bit upset. I don't know why, but it's far away from the reality. So we came here 23 hours later. We traveled 2 hours by train to play in Nanjing, then back to Shanghai, now here, and then back to Tokyo. And always with the big smile, so we make good training sessions for all of the guys. I've been impressed with my players so far, and let's see for the rest of the tour. I completely disagree with the journalist. That's not the reality. For our club, it's a huge experience to go abroad to other countries because we are not Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. They've been doing it for many years. For us, it's a new experience every season. It will help on the pitch, and we did it last season. And off the pitch, we are showing what an amazing club we are and how we are trying to be better every season. I'm so proud of what we've done. All the marketing departments, all the people who've organised this tour, and maybe next year or in 2 years, we are going to come back to China when the club decides we should come. Sooner or later, we'll come back for sure. We were there 3 years ago. So that's Pep. And all the pictures I've seen, I got from Acting 28. He sent me some videos and pictures. The fans there, they were so happy. Not a bad comment. So I honestly don't know where this has come from. Honestly don't know. And Walker, I'll finish up with Walker. Walker's been saying that the sky's the limit for Sterling. Where he really started, and he'd like to win the Champions League. That's the one thing he wants to win now. I think that's it. I think that we caught up with all the stuff. Let's go back up to your questions. I'm supposed to have a call coming through. Let's have a quick look. Pochettino, Arteta, Chris Welch. I'd agree with that. Yeah, look, Pep's going to be here for at least 2 or 3 years, so let's fingers crossed he stays a bit longer. There's Italy. The only place for him to go is Italy or the Spanish national team, but he's too young for Spain, I think, right now. City ruining football. What is Chris? But none of the media say, yeah, when somebody else does it, no one says anything. I agree with Grant. Alderweireld's better than Cahill. And Alderweireld is a non-homegrown player. We'd have to let someone go. Cahill is a homegrown player. I think we haven't got too many homegrowns, and we can get him. If we got Mbappe, yeah, I think that'd take us to I don't think there's a much higher level we can go to. It was slightly higher. Cobby, you're an hour late, mate. We're just about to finish. We don't need shirt sellers, English Massive. We've got the money sorted. See, a question: do you think Pep rates Cahill? I mean, he's a bit. But I'm not so sure, Sea Dog. You know, I'm just asking you guys what you thought. His name's there out as a free player. It's in the MEN, so I just thought I'd put the name out there. I don't think he's good enough, and I think what we've got is actually better. Yeah, Kamal, we have looked at massive players. Obviously, look back at Kaka, Rubinho at the time. Rubinho was massive at the time. We've looked at Messi. You know, we've done like us to get Mbappe. Chris Wells, what's the one if you get Mbappe? The City haters will erupt. Yeah, the only issue with the Mbappe is this wages because we don't know what upsets our wage structure. Chris Welsh is Mbappe. Well, can you tell me if you were out there in the world right now, who are the 3 players you'd go for? Messi, Ronaldo, and I think the next one's Mbappe. Well, Robert Rummenigge isn't a convicted criminal. Uli Hoeneß is. I don't know about Rummenigge being a criminal. I know Uli Hoeneß was done for tax fraud and he got sent down for 3.5 years, got out half the time. Look, Kamal, yeah, Chinese media might be a job, but we've got a lot of links with China. We've bought a Chinese club. We've got to do the travel eventually. So we shouldn't be doing it as much. Do I think Mbappe come to City? Well, Mbappe said, you know, he's talked up Pep. Where else can Mbappe go? Yeah, if Mbappe wants to step up, Juventus, I don't believe is a step up. Bayern Munich is not a step up. There's only 3 clubs that are a step up. Not Liverpool, Man City are a step up, Real Madrid and Barcelona. Those are the only 3 places I can see. Well, I'm not sure, Cobby. I think he's more likely to do 1-year extensions than 3. But if he does a 3-year extension, that'd be fantastic because the guy sticks to his contract. Joel Haaland. Well, yeah, maybe we're too good if we get Mbappe. Only 12 likes, guys. I can't believe they've got 29 people watching. Kamal, you'd rather have Mangala, but Mangala's non-homegrown. Yes, English Mastiff, we do need someone to replace Sturridge. I think Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this live podcast. I'm just going to check, guys. I've not been called, so I think it might be cancelled. The live stream I was going to do tonight, I think it's cancelled. Take care, Chris. Take care, buddy. Hope you really have a good evening. Oops. That coffee was really, really cold. Not a fan of cold coffee. Oh, yeah, Mbappe's better than Neymar. It's quite funny that the 2 guys I wanted to come on tonight haven't appeared, so I can't get them on. It's only live. One said he would. Oh. I'm going to do a call, guys, so that's my day done. Absolutely burned. Guys, it's 10 o'clock. I've just got a message to say, where are you? I'm supposed to be on at 10 on a call. Take it easy, guys. We'll call you tomorrow. We'll speak tomorrow. Ciao.